Hello, and welcome to Community Pulse, a bi-weekly CAN TV program featuring local leaders and organizations that focuses on improving health and well-being in the city of Chicago. Community Pulse is presented by Foxglove Alliance, a public health care coalition that's supported by the Hectone Institute of Medicine, that is in partnership with the Health Care Council of Chicago, which is managed by the Third Horizon Strategies, and then the Hectone Nurses and the Humanities. My name is Tacora Love. I am one of the Community Post rotating co-hosts. I am with the Hectone Nurses and Humanities and the Academy of Medical Surgical Nurses, the Chicago chapter 317. In the studio today, we have world-renowned artist Terrance Jones. We are so excited.
Thank you.
I'm honored, and I'm just very, very proud of Terrance. So I'm going to give you just a little bit of background on Terrance, and I'm going to let him jump in and talk a little about, I have a bunch of questions. We're going to show some of his images. So Mr. Terrance Jones is a born artist, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. He has been practicing since 2000. He lives in Chicago with his beautiful wife, who's actually in the studio. You guys can't see her, but she's here supporting him, and his son. He started Arts in Motion, LLC in 2017 and specializes in art instruction, painting events, commission in oils and acrylic, again, which we'll show you guys some of those images. He also works in an administrative capacity for the Department of Medicine, specifically for gastroenterology, hepatology, pulmonary transplant, critical care medicine at, of course, Northwestern Medicine downtown Chicago campus. He is a self-taught artist with gallery experience who gives God credit for his talent. His work has spread across the U.S. and continues to grow. I have to say that walking through Northwestern, specifically the department you work in, and seeing some of the art, at first I did not know that, it was a Northwestern employee until I started asking questions. Your art is simply amazing. It captures medicine, healing. All of those things are encompassed in your art. It just resonates with me. It resonates with the patients and everybody who owns a piece of your art. I definitely have to give a shout out to Cora Palmer, who one is the president of AMSN and one of our board members for the Hectone Nurses and Humanities. She's connected Terrance and I. She's brought him into Hectone, and he's done some events with us, and it has just been a journey.
Yes, it has.
So thank you for this opportunity. I am so excited, as you can tell. But can you share your journey to becoming an artist with us?
Absolutely. First, I want to thank you for having me. I'm super excited to be here, and I'm just really honored to be a part of today's program and working with you guys and Hectone and spreading my artwork through Northwestern.
Yes.
Yeah. My journey started, I believe, at birth. Like I was always, as far as back as I can remember, I've been painting. I've been wanting to draw. I've been fascinated with color. And early on in my life, I was raised by my grandmother, and she would always, as we were growing, take me to different places. Everywhere she went, she'd take me to places. But she would always find something art-related to share with me, to give me. And as I got older, she would take me to like thrift stores, and she would always buy paint, art supplies, bring them home, even sometimes resurfacing canvases and giving it to me. Like I didn't even realize that I was an artist. I think she saw it in me before, and just nurtured that and fed that. So I first think that it is a God-given talent.
Yes.
I wasn't trained for art. I hadn't gone to school for any art, but I ended up teaching art to some degree to some people, and doing a whole bunch of painting events and paint party. I've spread commissions all across Western medicine, and also all across the United States, by proxy of people meeting the people that I work with and them sharing their experience and how the art made them feel. And it's just been a long journey and a continued journey. Here I am today,
Yes.
interviewing about it. So I'm looking forward to what's coming.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Great things for sure are on the horizon for you. I remember just seeing one of the pieces, a couple of the pieces, and just having to take a step back, like, whoa, wow, like everything as a nurse, healthcare provider that I feel, that I see is captured in this art. So we're going to show one of the images of your art. And once we show that, if you can just speak a little bit about the piece that we're going to show.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay, we'll just continue. It should be coming up shortly, but when
Okay.
it comes up, we'll talk about that.
Okay. Oh, there.
Yes. So this piece, can you tell us a little bit about this piece right here?
Okay. So the two pieces that they showed,
Yes.
one of them is inside of one of the academic offices of one of the gastroenterologists there at Northwestern. He reached out to me because he had just arrived to Northwestern, and when he arrived to Northwestern, he had, in the interview process, had seen the artwork in other people's offices, and he was interested in this piece
He
here.
wanted that piece.
Yeah,
Yes.
so I met with him, and we discussed some of the things had gone on in his career and some personal things
Yes.
he had experienced, and he gave me some, a little bit about his life and his family and his journey.
Yeah.
And I wrote all that down, and I took my time and meditated on that and put it on the canvas.
Yeah, I love that. That's one of my favorite pieces. Cora actually, for my birthday, she actually gave me a replica, of some of your drawings, and it sits in my office. And I'm telling you, it is a conversation piece every time someone comes in there. So, who inspires you, and what motivates you to create?
Well, my wife and son, my wife Liz and my son Tyler, are my greatest inspirations, and they're my greatest supporters. They're always pushing me to create. My wife is pushing me to do better, and Tyler's always inquiring about what am I doing. He wants to know, and they're just the best to have, and they push me along. And this is why I work so hard I feel like I work to impress them and to make them proud.
Yes, yes. Oh, I love that. I love that. You can tell, like, in your art, it's faith, it's love, it's
yeah.
hope.
Absolutely.
Like, you can feel all of those things when you look at some of the pieces. And I really wish, like, our audience could actually see one of the pieces. But if you happen to be at Northwestern,
Yes.
you can definitely reach out. Can you describe how art is important to healing and how the two are connected?
Okay, yeah, absolutely. I can speak on that. I think that I discovered this as I'm creating. I've always known how art makes me feel. And this place I call the zone that I'm in when I'm painting. It's a place of complete peace and quiet. And I just reflect on other things going on in the world and in my life while I'm creating. It creates a space where I can clear up things. I can reconcile things while I'm creating a piece. I'm fixing other things that's going on in my life. It's just that peaceful of a space. And I understood that was happening for me. I just hadn't put it together that people seeing it
Yes, yes.
it was having that effect on them until a couple of years back, I found out about neurographic art. I've been doing this style of art with the swirl and all of the designs my entire life. But I just found out recently, maybe 2 or 3 years ago, that it had a name. It was called neurographic art. It was discovered, I'd say, by a Russian psychologist named Pavel Peskarov in 2014.
Oh, recently.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah. So
decade ago. So.
his research was focused on addiction, anger, relationships, inner peace, and self-care. And his studies show that creating this art, this specific style of art, and watching it, viewing it, was having an effect on the brain,
Yes.
and a peaceful effect on the brain, to the point that I believe eventually they started to use it in helping people with PTSD, anxiety, depression, those things.
Oh, I can definitely see that.
Yeah. So I know what it did for me, but I'm just learning about what it's doing for other folks.
Yes.
And it's, as you can imagine, it's putting things together. It's
Yes.
making sense to me now.
Yes.
And now I'm wondering, like, what more is going to happen with art and medicine? What other connections are going to be
Yes.
made?
Yes.
So I'm here for it.
Yes.
And I just want to
We
see.
want you along the
Yeah.
ride for it. You know, it's definitely therapeutic. Like you said, there's a piece in it. And, you know, there's one piece where you have the glomeruli, which is a part of the kidney.
Yes.
And inside that glomerula, you have like words that relate to, you know, hepatology, or the kidney in itself. And for people who are going through, you know, their journey with, you know, hepatology related diseases, seeing that again, like, it provides hope,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
If you look at it, some of the lines and the graphics, it's a journey. It represents
Absolutely
the
a
journey
journey.
through that. So like, I find like your pieces, like, they're so encapsulated. Like, you can stand there. Every single time I look at it, I find something
different.
else, something different that I didn't see that, you know, the time before. And so, you know, one of the other interviews I did, we talked about how poetry now is a part of healing. To me, like, art has always been a part of healing, different forms of it. And I think, like, throughout the hospitals and different places, this is why we have that art to
Exactly.
represent that. You
Exactly.
know?
I think people are starting to realize it more.
Yes. Yes.
If you think about it, it really makes sense. Like, if someone is going through something, a healing journey, they're often at their best when they're out in nature.
Yes.
And that's the ultimate art.
Oh, so true. So true.
They're when they're watching the clouds or just watching the sunrise, and that is art.
It's the best beauty.
So for me to be able to replicate that in a way, it's incredible. I thank
Yes.
God for it daily.
Yes.
I give him all the
Yes.
praise and glory for it daily, because I know I didn't do it by myself, and I know there's no coincidence that it's having this effect on them,
Yes.
on people.
Yes.
So.
When you talked about like the zone that you get in when you're creating a piece, typically, like, how long does it take you to create a piece? And I know you said you meditate. Do you listen to music? Like, what helps you to be the creative that you are?
So it's different every time, you know. I'll take one example. A psychologist out of Northwestern commissioned me to do a piece. She sent me a whole bunch of classical art, Beethoven and Bach cello suite, and
She was trying to help you musically
get
get
into
like,
the space,
yeah.
and a whole bunch of poetry and some personal things about her work in behavioral science, medicine. And I took that, I meditated on it, read it over and over again, and then I sat down and started to do the piece, and it just started to flow. And when my wife and I delivered it, it nearly like brought her to tears. And that just confirmed for me,
Yes.
like, God is at work here.
Yes.
You know, God is at work here. And I just, again, thank him for it. The opportunity, the people that I meet so many interesting people. And I'm just excited for new happenings, what's coming. But as far as what gets me in the zone is different every time.
Every time.
It sometimes a conversation with the person that's commissioning me for the piece, the patron, and sometimes it's just what they give me. I feel like at times I'm privy to conversations and personal things about people that some of their family members aren't.
Oh, no, very true. Very
And
true.
that is a blessing, and it's growing me. It's helping me to grow as a person, as an artist, and just to make more connections between healing and art.
In medicine.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you mentioned that piece that she gave you poetry. Again, like through interviews and just research, I'm just really learning how like poetry, music, all of those therapies are really, really just helping
Yes.
with healing. I just find it so fascinating. I remember growing up as a child, like you mentioned earlier, art is everywhere. But like art was also in the home. So, we had, of course, like Annie Lee, we also had like Kevin Walk Williams, who I have to say, I met sitting next to in a restaurant and I knew that was him. And it was just an amazing, amazing moment. Is there an artist who inspires you?
Absolutely. I think one of my biggest inspirations is Jean-Michel Basquiat.
Yes, yes, yes.
Because I can relate to him.
Yep.
And then
Yes.
in research, I found out that he started out doing anatomy. So a lot of his pieces had organs and stuff about the body systems and how it works incorporated in his work. And I've been doing this for the last 15 years when I discovered it in his pieces.
Very nice.
And it just made me go back and look at some of the works that he's done, and it definitely had an influence on what I'm doing now. Also, the shapes and dimensions of Picasso.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
So just like that abstract and then things like that.
There are others, Jasper Johns, Pollock.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I think the biggest thing, like for Hectone, we're trying to increase the awareness of nursing also being an art for as much as it is a science. So I think like the events that you've done for us and the future events that are to come has helped us to integrate that piece in it as well. We have a couple events coming up, so definitely stay tuned to our Hectone website.
Yes.
That's the Hectone Institute of Medicine, as well as the International Museum of Surgical Science. We have some fascinating events coming up for Nurses Week and just events that we're going to hold. What are your future goals for Art in Motion?
Okay, so what I'd like to see and what I'm working on for Arts in Motion is an interactive website where people can go on there, communicate with me, also purchase art, prints.
Very nice.
And it's just like going on and choosing what you like. If you just want to talk about it, discuss it, share it, or purchase.
Yes.
It'll all be able to do it through the website. So I'm working on putting that together now. Also, I want to expand my client base. Also, I'm looking to do more collaborations with medical facilities and pharmaceutical companies. I've done a whole bunch with companies like ACG and Eurofins and a whole bunch with Northwestern. I've spread artwork not only in Northwestern but medical facilities all across the United States.
That is amazing.
And I'm just looking to do more because new things are happening in medicine.
Yes.
And I'm excited. I'm looking in the journals. I'm reading the journals. I have a couple journal entries myself. And every time I see something new coming up, I see a way that I can incorporate art
into that.
And express that to a patient who doesn't really understand all the time how the things come together or new technologies and stuff, but can understand art.
Yeah. It's a universal language.
It is, absolutely.
It really, really is. It crosses all generations, like all, diversities. It's just universal. Like I said earlier in the beginning of our program, one of the things about yours, like so many things are represented. And, at the end, I would love for you to share like your Instagram page and things like that. So people can actually take a look at your art. I think, showing our images is not serving it any justice whatsoever.
Yeah.
Again, it's one of those things like walking past the halls at Northwestern, it's almost like you take a step back and you have to stop for a moment to take it all in. And I feel like patients are alike in the sense that, you know, it stops them and they have to take a moment. But again, like I said earlier, it gives them hope. It gives all of us hope. So thank you for all that you're doing, for connecting art and healing and medicine and providing like that hope, you know, to not only to our patients, but to the general community. And of course, like all of the healthcare providers, we, you know, are certainly very, very proud of all the work that you're doing. And we're honored. I'm honored just to have like a replica. You know, once you get that website, I would certainly be purchasing, you know, a piece of it, because I think this is just the beginning for you.
I am so thankful. I'm thankful to all my supporters, all of the many physicians and clinical staff and pharmaceutical folks that I've run into working at Northwestern over the years that have supported me wholeheartedly. Like one of my biggest patrons is Dr. John Pandolfino. He is like the best supporter for me. Like he's pushed me out and shared myself with people all over the country.
I love it.
And it's just a blessing, an absolute blessing. I'm so thankful for it, the opportunity. And to take it back to neurographic art and what it's doing in the changes that style of art are making in the brain, it makes sense because, like you said, the people walk by the artwork and it's like draws them to it.
It does.
So it's whatever's happening in that swirl, in that mix, that's a draw to them, which is the same draw for me that had me so relaxed and at peace in creating it.
I
look forward to those pieces.
The key word, like peace. It gives you peace. Well, again, thank you. It is time to wrap up. We would like to thank Terrance Jones for his time, expertise, and sharing his love for art, healing, and medicine.
All right.
We would also like to take a moment to thank CAN TV, nonprofit services team, for their support in the production of this program. My name is Tacora Love. Thank you for watching Community Post, which airs on CAN TV, channel 21, or is also available for streaming at cantv.org. Thank you, Chicago. Have a great day.
Thank you for having me.